I will have the best Diet Pepsi I've ever had in my life.
Ended the last video with "This is going to be a great day." Well, then I went into Cohorts, which is my Facebook group, and saw that my boss, Stephanie, put all of my merch on sale for $10 an item, which means by the end of the day today, I'm going to be broke as
Sup nerds, welcome back to my channel. My name's Maddie. If you're new here, I hope your day is going well. And once again, this is not the Splitter Swallow Part 2 video that I've been meaning to give you guys. I filmed most of it, and then guess what? The mic that I was using created a distortion out of nowhere and ruined the entirety of the footage. Yay! So as you can see, we got a new mic. I hope that it works. It's definitely my first time doing anything with something like this, but we're gonna do a different video so that I don't film for 2 hours and then not be able to use the footage and that, you know? That's kind of what we're gonna do. So, let's talk about Colleen Hoover's recent crash out that has been giving me just kind of a sense of harmony again in the world. Because I've been on BookTube long enough to know that Colleen Hoover almost became not relevant anymore. If you have been around long enough to know that Caleb used to make these videos on Colleen Hoover, specifically about how bad a writer she is, and how most people were just kind of assuming that her work was just never going to get better, and she was going to continue to like romanticize abusive relationships and domestic violence. And then the Ends With Us drama came out. Obviously, this is post now Book Talk resurging her career and managing to make her the, I think, most popular romance author of the 2020s. I've never really been interested in Colleen Hoover. She writes contemporary romance. I am not really a contemporary romance girly. Especially now past 30, I feel like a lot of especially straight people romances are just not my cup of tea. I don't relate to them in any way. And the ones I do read are dark romance and terribly written. So that's for you guys. I do that for you guys. But Colleen Hoover has been an interesting person in my life in general. The thing about Colleen Hoover is I did not have any interest in making rant reviews about her books. I did make a Verity rant review though, and I will explain for the Patreon people why that video is funny to me. Verity in itself is one of the only books that I've read by Colleen Hoover that I did a review on, and that video didn't do fabulously well, even though I think it's one of her most notorious books at this point, other than It Ends With Us, and obviously the crazy legal battle that is happening with that whole situation. But I just find it funny that now we're seeing her on Instagram after years and years of being one of the most hated romance authors on the internet. And now she's making weird videos where she's making Pepsi ice cubes for her Pepsi and then talking about how her boss is selling her merch at a loss, which that's fine. I'm assuming your Ends With Us merch is probably not moving. Get the product out. You are an incredibly wealthy author at this point. Why are you taking to Instagram to complain about this situation when the movie adapted from your book, the first one I am assuming of her work that's been made, is now in the crisis of an intense legal battle, one of which we have not seen in a very long time. And to be quite frank, I don't particularly think anyone involved with the adaptation of this work is guiltless. I am not on anybody's side. I have continuously felt like the Baldoni fans are just a little unhinged, to be honest. You guys are going and protecting a man that you don't know anything about. And then the Blake Lively situation, I don't particularly care for any of them. I just think that this was a weird situation to have gone so far out of control. And when you come down to it, Colleen Hoover is the writer of the book. Why are we not surprised that this had a negative turn of events? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, crazy. Like, this lady wrote a short thing about parents marveling at their baby boy's balls. Like, this is the level of intelligence we're working with. But to go on Instagram and make these videos now just feels almost distraction-like. And obviously she looks inebriated in the videos. And I do hope that there is someone that is helping her with that. But I just find it fascinating that this is when we find out, this is when we see her start to crash. Like, we know for a fact that Verity is getting a movie with, I don't know if it's Anne Hathaway or Dakota Johnson, or if Anne Hathaway's in a different one, but we're getting big name people involved in these projects, despite the fact that the last project that this author had for adapting her work was a PR nightmare. Like, I'm genuinely thinking at this point there is going to be more and more drama that will unfold from Colleen Hoover's works, because so clearly from like November 9, like drama on, she has clearly never actually learned why people don't like her work. And now, because she has so much drama around her, kind of like the Sarah J. Maas effect, I just feel like people who read her work and don't question the problems with it are becoming more aware of her because of all of this PR bullshit. So if she keeps herself like in the know or in the zeitgeist of like people talking about her work or her actions, we're just always going to be aware of her, you know? I just find that very interesting. As you can probably tell, I didn't script this video. There's really no cohesive thought pattern here. It's just, I think that the Ends With Us was just bullshit, to be honest, if I'm being real. And I think that Colleen Hoover coming on and making these weird videos now in her career is such a weird move. It's such an interesting move, don't get me wrong, because I think that all social media has uses, and as we all know, all PR, even if it's negative or publicity, that is good. It keeps you relevant. And I think a lot of what happened to Colleen Hoover's reputation when she was being called out on BookTube for being a bad author helped her stay in people's minds. And then because Book Talk, let's be fucking real, isn't all that critical about what they read, we ended up having this author who had already written so many problematic books very much resurface as this powerhouse in publishing. And do I fault her for making a lot of people read again? No, I don't fault her for that. I do think that she has more influence on this whole situation with her adaptations than I think that we are giving her credit for. Even though Blake Lively is supposedly taking the fall for what happened during the Ends With Us movie and the campaign of making it more of a rom-com, you just have to remember that Colleen Hoover tried to release an Ends With Us coloring book. Like, this is a woman that clearly never at any point took the source material that she was writing about seriously. So I think we're seeing more of that come out. And this is all just my opinion, just an outsider's perspective on what's happening. And I will find it fascinating to see what comes out of this situation, especially the upcoming movies. I will definitely be watching Verity solely because of backstories I have with that book, but I don't think I'll be reading anything else from Colleen Hoover, rant and review wise, unless it's for Patreon. But that being said, that is pretty much all of my thoughts on this situation. What do you guys think what's going on with Colleen Hoover? What's your opinions on the case? Obviously, keep it civil in the comments. We don't know these people. They're celebrities. We don't know what happened. I'm going to go now, guys. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!